Good morning. It is Saturday, October 11th. There is a lot going on. It is a Saturday. The weekend is here. The weather is sketchy. Not right now, not so much tomorrow either. So Saturday, the weekend looks okay, right? Nice, pleasant. But then as we go into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, it's like legit like weather system. Like an inch and a half of rain potential forecast for San Francisco. A couple feet of snow in the mountains, above 6,000 feet. Gale warnings along the coast, parts of the coast. And then you got that deal going on in the desert southwest where you've got all that subtropical moisture from Hurricane Priscilla pumping moisture into Utah where they're having flood concerns. And then the nor'easter on the East Coast. So it is October. It's also playoff baseball. I got wrapped into Seattle and Detroit last night with 14 innings. It's a pretty good game. Like I should say this, but I don't even. I work with Major League Baseball doing weather applied metrics, but I'm not like a super huge baseball fan. And so, but when you get to playoff baseball, it's awesome. Plus, playoff baseball coincides with football, high school football, college football, and NFL. So it's pretty awesome. What else we got to talk about? We can do some quick little history on some areas around California. I got notes. Just like in high school, I used to take the worst notes ever, but I got notes. Fleet Week today. There's going to be some stuff. The feds are out of it, right, because of this, the standoff or whatever you want to call it. But at 10 a.m. there is a Fleet Week stuff on Pier 30 and 32, 32 and 35 at 10 a.m. The ship tours. There's the air show at 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the waterfront. So it's a whole day of awesomeness and festivities. Just take a little light jacket with you if you go. So Fleet Week happening, just not like it used to happen. The feds aren't quite as engaged, but there will be some military precision stuff going on. Just, Fleet Week. It's awesome. It's awesome. Okay, so this is a shot I wanted to show you. We'll get started. Oh, before I get started, this a lot of new subscribers. Thank you for subscribing. We do a lot here, mostly California. It's weather, but I get wrapped into a little bit of history, sometimes a little bit of dynamics about the weather, sometimes a little bit about surf. But you can always grab the bar at the bottom of the video and just scrub through, and I list the chapters out. So you can go right to the models, right? When you see forecast models, and then we break down the forecast bit by bit. And that'll get you what you want. So you don't have to sit through some of this stuff, which may not be interesting to you. It's interesting to me and you other guys, many of you who've showed up and we just do what we do. It's California. We love it here. If you just moved to California, by the way, you're a Californian. Don't act like you have to be that whole, you're not cool because you haven't been here 100 years. I've been here a bazillion years. And a lot of you have, but some of you haven't. The ones that just move out here are sometimes the most awesomeness. I meet guys in the water, women too, who, like I said the other day, they're from, where are you from? Montreal. I swear I met a gal from Montreal on the water, Ocean Beach in a wetsuit. I'm like, what? Like, how do you make that connection? Oh, I just moved out here because tech or whatever. But I'm like, it's people like that are brave enough to go from high latitudes to here, get in the ocean where we do have sharks, and it isn't easy. Ocean Beach is kind of hard to surf, and she wasn't a very good surfer, but she was really working it. She's California. She's from California. So you guys are you're all welcome, man. It's not like that thing where you got to be, fifth, sixth, seventh generation. No, not really. You just have to be you. That's how we all got here. We're an interesting. We are. I shouldn't say that, but Californians are an interesting breed. For sure, and you know who you are. Okay, so this is Mount Shasta, and this is 2 hours. This is this morning, and beautiful. First of all, look how low the snow is. Fog in the valley. They're going to get, dare I say, a couple feet of snow. I'm sure they're going to get a couple feet of snow, maybe 3 feet of snow at the top of Mount Shasta. That mountain is going to be white. It's going to look like the middle of damn winter come Wednesday morning. Awesome. I know. So that's a great shot. I like to start off with that. We got a lot going on weather-wise. We've got this weather system here. What makes it unique, this our system, which is showing up now, but you see it's kind of dry, right? But watch what it's going to do is, the low rotates like this, so you can kind of visualize that. It's coming, it originates from up here. You can kind of see the cloud shield, right? So it originates from up there. So it's bringing in very cold continental air, Continental just mean the air over the continent in the north is cooler, right, than our oceans, which are running 59 degrees right now. So it's colder. It's drier and colder. Well, that dry, cold air is going to get down here where it is, and it's going to start sucking in moisture from the lower latitudes. So now you've got cold air mixing with continental air, continental dry air, and you got yourself a weather system that shows up here Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So that's that. This is what was Priscilla, which is now creating flooding concerns throughout the desert Southwest, specifically Utah and the Canyonlands. So this is one of those. We'll look at that. We'll also look at this nor'easter, which is typical for this time of year. But if you remember The Perfect Storm, that was a nor'easter, the movie, the book. Get some coffee. That was a nor'easter. And this is a nor'easter. And this is a legit nor'easter. Like it's sometimes they get a little fuzzy. This is not fuzzy. This has the moist air. It's doing the same thing. It's grabbing cold air off the continent. It's grabbing moisture from the right. It's doing the same. That's interesting. It's almost the same dynamics in reverse. Right? We're bringing in dry, cool air, moisture from here mixing with dry, cool air, explosive, and there you have it. So this is, I'm going to update this image here. Okay, so this is California. This is that Priscilla moisture. You can see it. I think you can see it. And right now it's pretty dry, right? There's not a lot going on. But as we go through the weekend, this pattern will persist today and tomorrow. Temperatures will be in the 60s, upper 60s in the Central Valley, mid 60s in San Francisco, low 60s. It'd be nice, pleasant. But then on Sunday night, Monday, Tuesday, this system starts to unwind. So we'll take a look at that. This is Mount Tamalpais, and we're looking down towards San Francisco's Ocean Beach. No, I'm not surfing today. Tides are weird, really beefy high tide, but it's just the winds are going to come up. You can already see the kind of the onshore wind. That's where that moisture is coming from. See that moisture plume? We talk about how Mount Tam, Marin County watershed, Muir Woods is a magnet for moisture. And that's what you're seeing. You're seeing this moisture being fed in. It's a lens. You can actually see it if you look. We're facing almost, well, what are we facing? $1.80? Yeah, $1.80 south. So we're facing south from Mount Tamalpais. And that's why San Francisco, a big rain event for you is a ½ inch. That same rain event, which is just a few miles down here, that same 1/2 inch in San Francisco, which is a good solid rain event, becomes 4 inches here. I've seen it. 6 inches here. I've seen it. 10 inches here. I've seen it. I know. And look at the distance. It's not very far at all. So their topography plays a lot into Marin County and hence Muir Woods and so on. It has not been that cold up in Lake Tahoe. These are the morning overnight lows. We did see temperatures a couple days ago below freezing in Truckee into 28, 27 degrees. And this morning, Truckee, low temperature, 35 degrees. 34 at Donner Lake, so it's pretty mild right now. Out towards Carson City, you get a 19-degree reading. But you can see temperatures throughout the state pretty mild. I actually woke up last night kind of on the warm side. I do see some 20s down here. I'm not sure if that... Some of these numbers may be anomalous, like the minus 13. And that's the risk you take when you pull up a lot of raw data. But overall, temperatures getting ready to drop as we go into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. This is the National Weather Service out of Monterey. It's going to snow. Like they're saying, hey, listen, we're looking at, let's see what they said. They had a pretty good little reader up here. They're going up to 3 feet of snow, 1 to 3 feet of snow above 6,500 feet. 1 to 3 feet of snow above 6,500 feet. That is a lot of snow. This is a dense fog advisory in Marin County this morning. Frost advisory up around Ukiah. And gale warnings along the Big Sur coastline, which a gale warning, again, has wind gusts up to 45, almost 50 miles an hour. This is wind concerns gale warnings as well, down for Point Conception, right here. That's Santa Barbara, if you will. And again, strong wind gusts up to 40, 45 miles an hour. So we got it going on. Now, this is mainly, when are they talking about? The afternoon through early Sunday. So they're picking up the winds now. Oh, and this brings me to a point. As we look at Martis Peak, A lot of people in my neighborhood, maybe your neighborhood too, it's a thing now, Halloween decorations. I'm not sure why they got so big, but they're big. They're either big blow up or they're big giant skeleton dude that by the way, are awesome. They're awesome, but they're big. And then you go, well, like the skeleton, like 20-foot or 30-foot skeleton, looks like it's 20 foot. Whatever that is, it's awesome. But where do you put it in the summer? Like, is that in the garage? Like, where do you have to take a car out of the garage? I mean, it's a lot of stuff. This is old man Martin talking right now. Like, how do you stow that stuff? And the blow up stuff's kind of makes sense. But here's my overall point. The winds are coming up and everybody's got their Halloween junk out. And like, I got some guys in the neighborhood that get the big blow up stuff, big scary blow up spider. They're awesome. They ain't tethered down that tight, man. So that spider is going to become my spider when the winds start blowing out of the northwest, right? It's going to blow across the yard. And so if you have awesome decorations, in the next 36 hours, I would get out there and do whatever, deflate them, because they're going to be blowing around. It's going to be one of those, when all's said and done on Wednesday, Thursday, it's going to be a cavalcade of memes of people's Halloween decorations in California and other people's yards. Okay, that's public service message. This is Marta's Camp, Marta's Peak, and the beautiful Lake Tahoe and the alto cumulus clouds. Lake Tahoe today is going to go probably about 58 degrees, maybe 60. This is Point Richmond. Point Richmond, and that's San Francisco, and this is Fleet Week. And you'll see the Thunderbirds today. Just beautiful day. You see the nice glassy conditions on the bay. That would be Angel Island right there. Isn't that pretty? Point Richmond is really I used to work in Point Richmond at an environmental planning firm. But Point Richmond, what's unique about Richmond is that's where the first Ford assembly line plant on the West Coast was built. Right. And this is, right, obviously it must have been the 1920s. And so I didn't get a date on it, but it's early on. And so that was unique. And then, and they also did that because the shipping from Richmond, they have the train hub was right there. So, and that's also the reason they built the Chevron refinery there, because you could the train, right, the Transcontinental Railroad, the local railroads would go right out to the Richmond area, and they would be able to transport goods across. You could it was a much easier way to transport goods. And so Point Richmond became a place for Model Ts to be built. And then when World War II started, they switched those assembly line plants over to making military equipment, as well as Kaiser, which turned into making Liberty ships. They made 700, and I wrote down 747 what they called Liberty ships. So, warships in Kaiser. So Richmond was really hustly bustly. So this is looking out over Point Richmond, which is a beautiful, beautiful spot. And Richmond's beautiful too. It's got a nice little climate there. So Richmond today, let's call you, what do we got Richmond at? We're going to go 68 degrees as well. This is, where are we? Chowchilla, right? Why are you in Chowchilla, Bill? Number one, to see the beautiful clouds in the valley. We're looking due west. That's what 270 tells you, right? Westerly. And Chowchilla, obviously the Chowchilla kidnappings with the bus in the in the 70s, early 70s. These guys kidnapped a busload of kids. I know it's a weird story. And then they just like weird dudes. And then they put them buried the truck in like a cave and covered it up and then released them. And it was just weird. But as a kid, I was a little kid back in the 70s when this happened. It scared the hell out of me. So Chowchilla is kind of known for that. But it was actually founded by a real estate developer, as was most of California when the railroads came in. They had to sell the land to make money to benefit the railroad barons, to benefit the East Coast trade, blah, blah. So it was a real estate developer in Williams, and that was his name. But I also had more on Williams, which you never thought you'd hear stuff about Williams, did you? Grain, Rice, and Orchard Farms. It was founded in 1876. Okay, awesome. That's Williams. I think that's Williams. This is Pasadena. Pasadena is the foundation, or where they founded Caltech, which became Jet Propulsion Lab, which is a lot of defense and high energy thinkers down there. Caltech's a big deal, and that's where it started in Pasadena. All right. Williams. Yeah. And then let's see. Maybe I may have just showed you. Yeah. Dang. This is Williams. Sorry. I don't know what that other spot was. That other spot was looking out in the valley. So this is Williams. That makes more sense, too, because it was a bit of a hub for the railroad was going through there as well. It was a railroad stop. All right. A little mixed up on my geography, but not too bad. Okay, these are the forecast highs for today. Reading, 68 degrees. Sacramento, 71. Fresno, 75. Los Angeles, 77. Today, let's go. Look what happens tomorrow. Tomorrow actually warms up a couple degrees. So isn't that pleasant? Like literally, you go, hey, Bill, what's the most... I should frame that and just take a picture of it, put it on the wall, because that is the perfect temperature aerial distribution throughout the West. I mean, look at that. Even in the desert Southwest, it's a perfect 90 degrees. But again, they're getting the big rain there. So it's a little warmer tomorrow, but then things change around with this. Okay, and the other thing I was going to say, I think we talked about scrubbing through, right? So if you ever get tired of me talking about Chowchilla and my concerns as a child getting stolen and in a bus and buried underground because it scared the hell out of me. There's a lot of weird stuff, man. The 70s, right? Manson, right? Hillside Strangler, right? It was scary to go to bed at night, man. Anyway, I'm okay. This is the system we're watching. And so this is today and tomorrow, or today and this afternoon, and see it kind of click through. So that's setting the plate. And then there's a little bit of disturbance. This is your Sunday, which looks like an awesome day, but a little breezy. And then look at this. This is that deal. Remember, it comes off the continental plate, grabs some moisture, and kicks in. And remember what we talk about. The dynamics on these. So this you see the trough, right? That's the trough. I'll show you. I'll outline like this. So there's the ridge. This is the jet stream. And there's the trough. See that line? Okay, so now if we go, I'm going to draw quadrants. There's the low. I'm just kind of down the center of the trough. The dynamics are in this quadrant, always on the right side of the trough. Strongest dynamics are right there. That's Mammoth, that's Bear Valley. The lesser dynamics will be a little further to the north, but the idea being that whole white quadrant is loaded for bear, and it's loaded for basically Mount Shasta all the way down to southern. Look at that. This is on Tuesday morning. Now you get on the back side of it, there'll still be stuff. So now you see we're on the back side of it, or not but we're getting closer to the back side of it. There's still stuff. It's just dying down. That's the end of the storm, but right. So this is as we get into Wednesday night, Thursday. So next week, it's like the Tuesday morning commute is going to be sketchy for the Bay Area, for LA too. I know. So I'm not sure what to do with that in terms of how heavy to lean into it. I mean, I'm leaning into it, and then there's something else that looks pretty juicy. That's on October 20th. But that's a thing. That's a thing, and that's what we're talking about. That's what all the watches and warnings are for, and that will bring you this. This is the North American model. Here is, first of all, the dashed lines represent thicknesses, so that's cooler air, 5490. That's meters. And see how it's actually, it's less than 5520, which is less than 5550. It's actually a height of that level. And so it's just showing you the air, as cooler air is more dense, so the height of the 500 millibar level is going to be farther down. Thicker, it'll be higher up. Does that make sense? Cold air. If this is the polar regions, that one column of air, like a box, like an Amazon box, that column of air, that Amazon box coming from the polar regions is going to be that thick. That same Amazon box in the subtropical region is going to be that thick. So, right, so this is when you see the lower box heights coming in to the lower numbers coming in, you're bringing cooler air into the warmer Amazon box. Worst analogy ever, but that's the idea. So those are thickness lines. And then the dash lines, or the solid lines, are isobars. Those are your wind indicators. And see here, that's wind. That's Saturday mid-morning. That's up around, up out of Bakersfield and Merced. or not Merced, out of Bakersfield and areas, up into the White Mountains, Mammoth. That's windy. When they get close like that, when they're far apart like that, that's a breeze. But you'll see them start to stack up. See the saw lines stacking up. So there's your gale warning starting to show up offshore. This is Sunday morning, okay? And then breezy, just a straight up breeze. Not howling, but breezy. And then when they see how they're packing up around Cape Mendocino, this is Sunday afternoon. And then see now the system's getting closer. See the lines packing in. The thicknesses are dropping too, but wow, and that's our system. That's Monday morning. Look at that. Monday morning, look at that. Ooh. That's Monday afternoon. So Monday morning, Monday afternoon, overnight Monday into Tuesday morning. That is, wow. And then that is Tuesday morning, I said. Look at that. Secondary wave comes through on Tuesday afternoon in the Bay Area. Wow. So that's some stuff. Will it go down that timing-wise? I don't think so, but that's the general idea. Here is the sea level pressure. This is us. And you see the winds offshore again. There's some wind. Just Halloween decorations are going to take a hit right there on Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening. And then here comes our system. That's Monday afternoon. Back it up. This is Monday morning, Monday afternoon, Tuesday afternoon, and then gone. So Monday, Tuesday, man. And then something else clicks through. This thing clicks through on October 20th. Broad brush model, GFS. So, but I think what I did see enough wind that you're going to want to tie down the tarantulas and the Draculas. Okay, so this is, I think this is NAM, yeah, and this is forecast rainfall. So this is just accumulation, just to give you an idea of the field. So this is what it looks like by Sunday afternoon, right? We can handle that. That's nothing, except look at the desert Southwest, 1.5 inches of rain. That's Priscilla. And then this is Monday morning, just starting. This is Monday afternoon, so it kind of shows up. This is Monday about 4 or 5 in the afternoon. 1/2 inch of rain in San Francisco, accumulation, so it keeps adding. Overnight, more rain. Tuesday morning, look at the mountains. Tuesday afternoon, look at that, over 1 inch. Look at that, wow. That's as far as this model wants to go, is to Tuesday afternoon. But there'll be more for Southern California. And look at this down here. Still that subtropical moisture spewing into the desert Southwest. So you got flood warnings, you got snow advisories, you got gale warnings. You've got, again, flood warnings for the subtropical moisture. That's some stuff. Plus, our system's going to come through and connect with some of that moisture as well and create more activity for them down the road on Wednesday, Thursday. Here is the snow advisories, snow warnings. I'll probably see a winter storm warning in the mountains to some extent. Here is a winter storm warning in Montana and storm watch. And then gale warnings out here, flood advisories along the coast for the nor'easter. So it's going on, man. Wow. These are the forecast highs for today. So again, the way to use these is to go through, because the models are the models, man. And I show them pretty much same time, same models, similar models, so you can get used to them. Because you can get these models, everything I'm showing you is free for you new subscribers. So this is all stuff you can just bookmark. And you can go, I don't want to sit and listen to Bill talk about Chowchilla buses and being scared of getting buried alive. I want to just get right to the GFS. You can, number one, you can bookmark it yourself and just go blow this off, right? Which I don't want you to, but I get it. Or you could just scrub through and see what you want to see. Because I want to make sure everybody gets what they want here. And ironically, I was looking at my demo, and my demo is like, we're all like 80 years old. It's like my demo under like 20, in the YouTube demos thing. My demo under is like, it's like most, not 80 really, you guys are awesome, but I'd make 45 to 65. Go figure, right? So that's right in my wheelhouse. And there are some kids here, thank you, kids, mostly in other countries, which is interesting. Okay, so these are the forecast highs for today. Do with that what you will. Fall's awesome wherever you go, it really is. And then these are the below average temperatures next 6 to 10 days. That makes sense. Starts on the 16th. Rainfall should be above average, a little above average. Yeah, makes sense. 6 to 10 days. Earthquakes above 5 in the last day. Fives are big. Fives are big, man. It's a lot of this whole area, that eastern or western Pacific. Lots of, I don't see what we got over here. I like this map just because it's like, I don't know, it just makes me feel like one, right? So often I just get so California centric, I forget that Africa is a huge giant continent with huge millions of people on it. Not very seismic, it turns out. Not very seismic here, but boy, that ring of fire, right? 70% of all earthquakes occur on the ring of fire, and 90% of the big ones occur because of the subduction zones. And this is coming into the ring of fire here. You can see the areas. I'm running out of time. And then these are the earthquakes in the last day. And there's some big ones. There's some big ones. These are a lot of fives here. That's a 6-0 in the Philippines. I heard there was a bigger one, I think, in the Philippines a couple of days ago or yesterday that was, I think it went on, one of you guys texted me and said it went on for like 3 minutes. I know. Big earthquakes like the Alaskan quake went on for over a minute. I was in the San Francisco earthquake. And so, again, before I go on, these are all the earthquakes. And then if we want to look at all the microquakes, then look, you can see the clusters of microquakes here and here. These are today. These are all in the last 24 hours. Swell forecast. You can see the nor'easter here. The folks on the East Coast are getting frothy for that. If the winds work for you, when the winds start to go offshore, right there, that swell, it might work. The winds are pretty onshore here. See the arrows? I'm looking at this. And then our surf out on the West Coast. Like I said, I was in the San Francisco earthquake, and it lasted, I don't know, 14 seconds. It seemed like forever. And then these are storms developing in the Aleutians. But that's surf, ground level surf coming in. So swells are pretty small. I'm looking at California now. This storm right here, that's our storm. I mean, that's the waves from the storm. And you can see the winds, right? Because we're going to have big winds. It's going to be sloppy, messy gale warnings. So that surf is useless to surf. This stuff out here, that stuff's the stuff that'll show up with some really awesome northwest swell. This is Ocean Beach today. It kind of looks fun. I know. The winds are coming up, though. Winds are coming up. A little junky, a little sloppy. Tides are weird right now. They're going beefy. Big high tides up over 6 feet. The water's moving. This is, that's Halama today. This is Doheny. This is that place I told you the other day. This is down in Southern California, just below Dana Point. If you're going to learn how to surf, these are the places you go. Because it's very pleasant. It's warm. Everybody's cool. You get a big longboard. You sit around. Dolphin goes by. You're stoked. Because you're never going to be, let's face it, dude. You're never going to be, this could be me. But I would look at me and go, you're never going to be busting an air. You know what I mean? Like Kelly. You're never going to be there. So just be cool, man. Just sit out there and enjoy the ocean. Watch the day slip by. Maybe catch that wave there. I mean, I'm learning how to do that more. This is Mount Shasta again. Just beautiful morning shot. And then Mount Whitney. Beautiful morning shot. And then we go to Venice Beach because we can. And we like to see how people are doing their day. Don't be electric bikes. Don't be electric bikes. Don't be. Let me look. Electric bikes driving me nuts, you guys. Only because when it's flat like that, I listen, you're 12, 14 years old, get an electric bike because they're freaking awesome. If I was 12, I'd want an electric bike too, just to buzz the bike trail and scare the out of everybody. But when you're like a grown-up dude and it's flat